Greetings. My name is Letitia Hensley, and I'm the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Director of Family and Community Engagement. We are excited that you are joining us today and know you will gain great insight from this session. At the conclusion of today's session, please provide feedback so that we can continue to support you with amazing sessions that will be provided throughout the year. Now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to our presenters.
Good afternoon, families. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Title I Family Advisory Committee. We are so excited to have you here to learn, provide feedback, and grow with us. We have some amazing departments who will be present to share some pertinent and valuable information with you today. We do have translation services available today. So in the top right-hand corner, please select the captions button, 2 C's with that slash through if you need translation support, and then select show live captions and select the spoken language needed. Once again, the captions button, the show live captions, and select the language of your choosing as needed. Additionally, we would love to engage with you today, to hear from you, and to answer any questions you may have. Next to that captions button, you will see the Q&A feature. Please type any questions within the Q&A. It will be monitored, and we will also have Q&A sections where we provide answers to the questions being asked throughout today's presentation. Additionally, we do have a reactions button. Please feel free to react, give a thumbs up, any of those wow moments as you see fit today. We do love receiving feedback from our families to make sure that these sessions meet the needs of our families and stakeholders. Please complete the feedback form after today's session to let us know of areas that you would like to continue to receive support, any questions you may have, or any ways in which we can continue to strengthen the work of the Title I Family Advisory Committee moving forward this year. The role of this advisory committee is really to make sure that our families are aware of the grant services and family engagement strategies that are implemented throughout CMS related to Title I funding. We want to make sure that we are receiving feedback related to our family engagement policy, which will be the focus of our January session. We would love to have input from our stakeholders on just ways that we can continue to support you through our Family Academy platform, learn about new ideas and strategies that you guys as the families would like to see throughout this committee and within the district, share resources gained with other parents and guardians in the school setting, and provide insight to some of those challenges with family engagement so that we can continue to grow and support you. Today, we have 3 departments that will be sharing some pertinent and valuable information. We have our SEL department who will share about social emotional learning within CMS, which is great learning for everyone. We will also have our Title I Federal Programs Department who is going to make sure that our families are aware of where information is housed, how to access your school improvement plan, and continue to be a part of that work. And we will also have our pre-K department who, if you have a student that's in pre-K, if you have a neighbor with a 4-year-old that might be right about ready for that pre-K age range, or any other members of your community and social circles, they're going to be going over how to register for the pre-K program and all of those benefits to the offerings within their department. So at this time, we are going to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Rhonda Harris from our SEL department, who is going to share more about families and social emotional learning.
Good afternoon and welcome, families. I am excited to talk about why social and emotional learning is essential, since that is a key phrase that is buzzing all around. So when you think about a young person in your life, take a moment and explore what is it that you would hope they would be able to do and be successful at in their future. After you've taken about 20 seconds, start dropping some things in the chat about what you would hope that young person that you have in mind in your life would be able to do and be successful at in their future. And Molly, if you can read some of them out to me.
Absolutely. As they come in, I will make sure you hear them.
I hear lots of thinking going on. So as a parent, when I think about my child who is currently in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, one of the things that I hope that he would be able to do and be successful at in his future is collaborate in whatever setting he's in so that he can be a great team member and a great contributor to whatever he's working through or working on. Is there anyone that provided a response?
Yeah, we've had a few come in. So I hope that they would be able to read and write and communicate their thoughts and feelings.
Yes,
And
great.
we've also had a kind, caring, productive citizen in society.
Yes, that is awesome. That is something that many of us wish for the young people that are very important to us in our lives. So when we go to the next slide, you'll see that what you hope for your child or what you hope for that young person is exactly what many people say in society they need from them in order for them to be contributors to our society, right? So the executives that are hiring currently want our students to be able to read and write and be problem solvers. We have Google, it's a big agency. And from what I understand, I've never worked at Google, the space at Google is very collaborative and very relaxed. And so everyone there who has these high level of critical skill thinking and able to collaborate and problem solve and take initiative are very successful there. So social emotional learning is the way for which we support our students acquiring certain skills in order to be those productive contributors to society. And here is a perspective that some students share about what they think social emotional learning is and does for them. And you can come back to that video and watch it later. I think it's going to be available at a later time. Is that correct? Oh, here we go. We have it now.
Where monsters teach you math.
SEL stands for social emotional learning.
It teaches people about how to deal with your emotions and basically helps you through life physically and mentally.
It helps me calm down and become a better person because I have to be able to work together with people.
It helps us communicate in a better way.
It really helped because a lot of bullying has stopped in school.
My dream is to become a leader, to do something great, and these skills are going to help me to reach out to other people, to be able to connect with them in a different way.
If SEL was all around the world, it would be amazing because everybody would be kind to each other and everybody could teach everybody. There would be no wars. It would just be the most wonderful world we could have.
Thank you for sharing that. So many of our students see the great benefit of it too. And this is why our state has a definition of what social emotional learning is and expects that every public school unit is engaging in social emotional instruction. So the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction has a definition of what social emotional learning is. And some of the key things that stand out in the definition is that it's a process that goes and spans along the lifespan. So this is not anything that just stops in pre-K, because pre-K has been doing this very well for a long time. But this is something that we want our students to be engaged in so that it prepares them to accomplish their goals. And our superintendent mentions it. She wants every student in our district to be able to be enlisted, enrolled, or employed. And so these are the competencies and the skills of which we would want them to have in order to do so successfully. The 5 competencies are self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. And we understand that parents are our children's or our students' first teachers. And so if you see that outer layer around those 5 competencies, it mentions that there are 4 layers or 4 areas that have to be involved in order for those competencies to grow and to be strengthened and established. And one of those is authentic partnerships with families and caregivers. So your being here is the start of the authentic partnerships. If you have not already been very much involved in our schools, because we trust and we rely upon your input in supporting your students, learning in all areas. And the research says that when we have students with stronger skill sets, they're more likely to reach these milestones that each of us wish for our students. They're most likely to engage in graduation, participate in graduation, have post-secondary plans, have jobs, hold those jobs, and enrolled in whatever future skills or whatever future goals that they have set for themselves. But most importantly, it is the skill set for which they are able to access their academics currently to be prepared for those things. This is more research, more information that's provided around academic achievement. And so the key thing is that students who participate in social emotional learning or instruction tend to show an average of 13 percentile points higher than their other peers on their academic performance. So academic instruction that engages or incorporates social emotional learning makes sure that or helps our students have long-term learning and long-term academic and personal success. So how do we engage in social emotional learning in CMS? What are the current supports? So everyone knows that we have student services professionals in every school. We have school counselors, psychologists, and social workers, and their expertise is social emotional learning. But they are not able to serve all students all the time. And so in our district, we have Caring School Community, which is a curriculum that is provided in grades K through 5. And we have Capturing Kids' Hearts, which is across the districts from grades kindergarten through 12. And both of those programs provide direct support and resources for our educators to allow our students to practice their social emotional skills. And in addition to that, the curriculum that we use for literacy, math, social studies already has social emotional resources embedded within various subject areas so that it's an ongoing practice. So when you think about your home and how you could be more intentional about social emotional skill integration or practice, not just taking place in school only, I want you to know that actively partnering with your student's school is the first step. But when you're away from your student's school and you're at home with your loved ones and your students and the ones you care for, incorporate active listening during those regular routines when you're eating breakfast together, if you're on your way to school in the car, if they're getting ready for bed or preparing for the next day, even when they're doing homework, incorporate active listening by asking questions, and listening without interruption. Now, we have some resources where you could check in with your students regularly. So there's a feelings chart linked to this slideshow that you can scan the QR code on the slide now, and you can see that feelings chart. Now, it is very colorful, but I have a junior in high school, and I am able to use this feelings chart with my junior after asking him and trying to figure out how his day was. Set up problem-solving spaces in your home if you can. Just a designated space where the person who feels like they were harmed can get with the person that harmed with them in a meeting space that's secluded to them. Now, adults, please monitor the spaces and make sure the conversation goes well, but allow them to sit there and talk about what it felt like while they were in that situation and how they would want to engage with one another afterwards. And this problem-solving space can be used with the adults too, because that would be great modeling for your young ones in your home to see how adults work out problems. Only the problems that the young ones are privy to, though. You don't want them to be privy to all of your business. And then another way to engage in the things that I've already shared is to use conversation questions, just in case you don't know the right things to ask, or you may not think that it's an appropriate question to ask your young one. There are conversation questions available that you could take one or two of them, and as you're reading the book with your child or watching the television show, pose some of those questions to see what their thoughts could be or their feelings could be around what they've observed or experienced through those settings. And our literacy and our social studies subject areas tend to have topics that our students are exposed to regularly. They're usually reading an English novel, such as Othello or The Great Gatsby, or all of those wonderful things, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. You could take those conversation questions and ask one or two of those to them while they're reading to evoke some conversation and some response. So these are some brief, simple resources that you can access. And now I'm curious to hear from you. Do you have any questions?
At this time, I'm not seeing any questions for Ms. Harris in the Q&A, but if some come to mind as you continue to engage with us, please drop them in there and we will address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. Thank you so much, Ms. Harris, for this pertinent and valuable information with those great tips and strategies for how to bring SEL from the classroom to the home and what our families can do to just continue to strengthen that work. At this time, we also have a few references that she's provided that our families can use moving forward. All of these links and the QR codes will be shared at the conclusion of today's presentation via email as well, so that our families can go back and access them. And at this time, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Tracy Theory, the Director of Federal Programs, who's going to share more information about Title I resources.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well today. So today I'm going to take you through how to view Title I information on your school's website page. And I'm going to show you. So as you can see, on your school's website, you're going to go to Our School, and I just use Croft Community as an example, and you'll see Title I, and you're going to select Title I. From there, it's going to take you to all things Title I that relate to your school. So as you can see, you see the school improvement plan, the Title I parent information presentation, the policies, requests for information, school compact, everything that relates to your child's school on Title I is on this page. Next, we're going to go deeper as you see it visit our site for more school improvement plan information. And you see that right on this page. Wonderful. So on this site, you see all things school improvement. And what is the school improvement plan and team? This is a group of stakeholders that are involved with the school, helping the school to set goals and determine how the school will meet those goals. So on here, you see the IndiStar login, and you also see the passcodes. So you're going to go ahead and select that star, and you enter that information for that school. So if you have multiple students, each school has a different password. So on this, you see all things related to your child's school, and you see the goals that your child's school is working on. And you also see the updates. How are they doing on these goals? In addition, you will see the spending that's occurring from Title I. This is new this year, where our schools are actually putting in their spending and they're linking the outcomes to this. So you just click view and then you see the information that is related. The comprehensive plan report is a really detailed report that will show you all things related to the school improvement plan. This is a great resource to see all things related to their child's school goals at their school. And also you will be able to see detailed information about the spending that they're doing to help reach those goals and the different activities or initiatives that they have. If you are interested in attending your school and child school improvement team, you'll want to reach out to the school. In addition, the time is usually posted, right? It is right there on the website, and the meeting access. Also, there's opportunities at schools to be members of the school improvement plan. Just contact your child's school if interested. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing such valuable and pertinent information. At this time, we're going to turn it over to our fabulous pre-K team. And I know our pre-K team is going to share some great information when we unmute.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Cher Holcomb and I'm the CMS Pre-K Program Manager, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the CMS Pre-K program and how to begin the application process with us. I also have my colleague with me and he's going to introduce himself as well.
Afternoon, my name is James Howes and I am the Enrollment and Recruitment Coordinator, and we're very excited to tell you all about pre-K.
So today we're going to talk about the goals of pre-K, the purpose of our program, what is the difference between NC Pre-K and Bright Beginnings, which is a question we get frequently in the office, how our application process works, and then I've also got some CMS contacts for you as well. Okay, so the goals of pre-K are to provide a rich, child-centered, literacy-focused learning environment. We also want to ensure that all children in Mecklenburg County enter kindergarten ready to learn, and we also want to offer experiences that ensure children's learning of academic, personal, and interpersonal skills essential to school success. And the purpose of the pre-K program is to identify and serve children who would benefit from a high-quality preschool experience in order to be successful in kindergarten and beyond. Does anyone on this call have any children in pre-K currently? Feel free to drop that in the chat if you do. I don't see any current pre-K parents on here, but if maybe you have a friend or someone who has a 4-year-old, so thank you for listening and taking time to learn about our program. Okay, so as the CMS pre-K program, we actually have 2 programs. Bright Beginnings is housed in the CMS elementary schools, and we have 66 locations for that. And we are also the contract administrators for the North Carolina pre-K program, and that is a statewide program that's available in all counties. And we have a lot of questions about what is the difference between the programs. So I was going to go over a little bit about the differences. So NC Pre-K is located in our child development centers, whereas Bright Beginnings is located in our CMS schools. The ratio in both programs is the same. It's 2 teachers to 18 students. Both programs use the creative curriculum. Both programs, we administer a developmental screening in the application process. We get a lot of questions about transportation from parents. So in the NC Pre-K program, we have some of our NC Pre-K centers offer transportation. Some are not able to do that. And then for Bright Beginnings, yes, transportation is provided to your child's home school, but we have lots of children who are at alternate locations, and those parents may be providing transportation themselves. Before and after care is also usually a big question that we get. And so in the NC Pre-K program, we have, that's the program at our child development centers. We have the directors and the centers have, some of them have availability for that wraparound care, as they call it. So if you might need care before the school day hours or after the school day hours, they may have that available for you, and there'll be a fee that would apply to that. And in Bright Beginnings, we only have 2 CMS schools where we have the after school enrichment program for pre-K students, and that would be at Hickory Grove and University Meadows. And then all of our teachers in both programs, they are licensed birth through kindergarten teachers. Before I start the application process, any questions about anything else that we said today? Feel free to drop those in the chat at any time. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process. So we have opened our application for the 25-26 school year already. It opens on December 2nd, and any children who would turn 4 by August 31st, 2025 should apply. We also still have seats open for the 24-25 school year. So if your child has already turned 4 and was 4 by August 31st, please feel free to submit an application. When you get down to our application page, you will be able to see that both applications are running simultaneously, so you could apply to either year. You can visit us on the 2 different ways. There's a QR code that you can scan that takes you directly to our main application page, and we also can get there straight from the CMS Pre-K department page. Once you get into the account, I'm going to go through the application steps, but you would begin an application. Do you want to click on that, Molly? Or are you going to click on the department page? All right. So that's our Pre-K department page. So you can see that from the CMS website. It kind of gives our step-by-step directions, and there is the link to begin immediately at the bottom of the page as well. And we'll drop that in the Q&A, I believe, so that you all have that. And then you can also use the QR code to get there directly. And if you've ever seen us at any events, that QR code is over all of our materials, so it's always accessible to parents. So once you are on our main page, and we'll go through this step by step, you would begin an application for your child. You would upload all necessary documents. Then you would go into your account and schedule your virtual screening appointment, which we do with all of our families. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. And then you also will go back to that dashboard to look at your placement information as well. So we try and keep it at one spot for all of our families to visit, and they always know where to go back to. So this is our main landing page. This is what you see when you first either click on the website or scan the QR code. And the first thing I always like to point out is at the very top, you can select your language. So our application is available in 90 languages. So please, it is a great feature, and it just It is very, very helpful to our families. And then once you've selected your language, over with that yellow arrow is our Start Login button. And then you can also see that front page. You'll see available for 25-26 is the pre-K new student application. It's highlighted in blue down there. And then right below that is the 24-25 application as well. So those will both be running for a while as we see many, many students move into the district still for this current school year. And we do have some available spaces. So get that word out. If you have any other children that haven't applied that you know of, please encourage them that we do still have available spaces right now as well. So once you click that yellow login button, it takes you to your family dashboard login page. And so if you already have a child or you've had a child in pre-K, you would just simply put in your email address and password and log back in. But if you are a new family, you would just create an account here at this page. And then this is what your family dashboard looks like. So if you have, as I said, if you've had children in pre-K, you have seen this before. And if you are new to pre-K, this would be the first time that you would see it. I wanted to walk you through kind of the steps of what you would do first. So once you're on this page, the first thing that you would like to do is associate a student. And so you can see I have several children down below that with pencils beside them. So as you continue to have other children in pre-K, you can always come to the same space and associate each student for each school year. Once you have done that, there's a yellow arrow to the green Begin Application button. And that is where you would begin the application for your student. And you would just go through and answer all of the questions in the application. Once that is finished, there is another yellow arrow at the bottom, and that is where you go back and view and add your documents. And I always like to tell parents that this application needs to be finished kind of at one setting. So when you sit down to do the application, please set aside about 20 minutes or so so that you can answer all the questions. And then once you finish with that, you can go back in and upload all your documents. Scribbles, our application can be accessed by a variety of platforms. So you can use a tablet, you can use your phone, you can use a computer, whatever is easiest for you. And you just click on the view documents and then you can upload all of your necessary documents. We also have a list on this page of everything that is needed for you when you apply before you begin so that you can have those documents ready and try and complete everything at one time. I'm going to turn it over to James and he's going to talk a little bit about screening.
All right, so once the application is created and all correct documents are uploaded, you will be sent an email invitation to log in and you will be able to schedule your virtual appointment. All children who apply for pre-K are administered a developmental assessment. This will last approximately 20 to 30 minutes, and it's an appointment with you and your child. So our CMS team interacts first with your child and ask them a few questions just to get to know that child. And then they also do the developmental part to ask you a few questions. And this is the time for parents to tell us all about their child. So this is a virtual appointment. So it does allow you to be in multiple locations and parents or caregivers to be involved from different areas at the same time. And you will not need to come into the office in order to conduct your virtual appointment. Now, as you see here through the dashboard, once you go for your virtual meeting that you have scheduled, you will see beside your child's name a blue button that says Join Meeting Room. You will log into that portion and you will wait for the screener to join. They will be able to talk with you. You will see one another clearly in that area. If you do have any issues, we're always able to call parents and talk to them to guide them through how to log into our virtual meeting rooms. Now, our pre-K placement is based on program-specific factors. It's not on a first-come, first-served basis, and that's why we continue going through the school year. After participating in the developmental screening, children are placed according to program criteria. and they are notified again through our Scribbles dashboard. So they will be able to log in through that dashboard at various times throughout the year in order to see their child's placement. Placement can occur through the CMS school, which is with Bright Beginnings, a child development center, which is under NC Pre-K, or they may be in the waiting pool for a certain period of time. If there is an IEP in place, we will coordinate with your child's IEP team and our Exceptional Children's Department in order to make the best placement for your child to be successful. Now, here we have provided our information so that you can reach out to us if you have any other questions. Of course, you have heard from Cher Holcomb and myself, James Howes. You can also call our pre-K main office if you have any problems with our application or you have any questions before you begin. We also have our other departments that assist with our enrollment with student placement, exceptional children, transportation, and after school. Does anyone have any questions at all about the pre-K program?
At this time, we do not have any pre-K specific questions within the Q&A. Families, if you have questions that come up as we continue through, please feel free to drop them in. Oh, we do have one at this time. Are preferences considered as far as preferring students attend homeschools versus child care centers?
Good question. Yes. So on the application, you can actually select which programs you would like to apply for. So when you can select to apply for Bright Beginnings or NC Pre-K or both of them. So yes, we always take your preferences into consideration. And with placement decisions, we try and place children as close to home as possible.
Can families choose which pre-K school their child attends if it's not the one closest to home?
Good questions today. These are always my big questions. So on the application, you are applying to the Bright Beginnings program in general. We have multiple funding sources, and so our program criteria is different at many different schools. You don't actually select your location for Bright Beginnings. You can select a school close to home, or you can select a school where a sibling attends. You can also select a school close to a child development center. And then I take all of the factors in your application and try and make the best decision for you and your family. You also have time during that virtual screening appointment to have any conversations with the screening team about preferences or siblings or what you need in the way of a location for pre-K programs.
And is there any priority given for the pre-K placement of a student if an older sibling is already enrolled at a school?
These are great questions today. We do not have any sibling guarantees with pre-K. So obviously I try and keep siblings together. So if your child we can place your child and it's at that school, that would be my choice. But unfortunately, we have about 6,200 applicants for 4,600 spaces. And so not everyone is placed, but we do try and keep siblings together if possible.
Thank you. Such great questions and such great answers. If there are any other questions, please feel free to continue to put them in the Q&A. And after just a little bit more information, we can revisit them as well. Finally, we just wanted to go ahead and re-highlight where to find some of these resources that are housed from the Family and Community Engagement team. Under Families, please select the Family and Community Engagement Department. You would be able to navigate all of the different offerings that the department does host, including our Title I offerings and our Family Academy sessions. Our Family Academy does provide weekly offerings to support connecting to the school district, navigating CMS, supporting digital citizenship, life and leadership skills, and many more focus areas of opportunity. We do have 2 upcoming Family Academy sessions that will be taking place next week. We will be connecting with world languages within CMS to learn more about the world language offerings, the study abroad opportunities, and everything in between. So please join us on Monday, December 16th at 12 p.m. for that Lunch and Learn session. We will also be having our data use for school improvement team who will be supporting understanding parent reports for all K-12 students. So we know that you guys have already begun to see some data reports this year. There will be another round coming out in the new year as well as your students continue to gather more information and show what they know on these assessments. So please join us on Wednesday, December 18th from 12 to 1 p.m. You can join us at the bit.lys shown on the screen or by going to cmsk12.org/Family Academy. All of this information with the login is listed there as well on our calendar of events. We have the Family Academy on demand. For those who may not be able to join us live at noon, you can always go review any of our sessions as well as today's session are recorded and shared on the website. We have some upcoming Family Advisory Committee sessions for the rest of the year. Our next one will be so soon in January. On January 9th, we will have a 12 and a 6 p.m. Our focus of this session will be school health, where we can learn more about school health and what that means for you and how your students can be supported through our school health department, as well as learning more about the Title I Family Engagement Policy. This is a board policy, SPENG, and we want to hear from you. We want your feedback regarding this policy so that it is supporting your needs as a family and member of the community. So please join us on January 9th. The login will be emailed to you for the 12 and 6 p.m. sessions. And at this time, if there are any additional questions within the Q&A, I did see we had one question. If there's another place to access the school improvement and IndiStar login information, if I'm unable to find it on the school website. If you're unable to see it on the school website, please send us an email so that we can help connect you and make sure that you know where that information is housed on your school website. All websites should have this information, and we are happy to make sure that it is connected to you. We do ask for feedback for today's session. We want to make sure that the information we are sharing is meeting the needs of our families and community. So please take a moment to provide feedback. You can access this form at bit.ly/TIFAC2425, and it has been dropped in the Q&A for you to click on as well. Once again, that would be bit.ly/TIFAC, all capital, 2425. And please stay connected with us. We appreciate you joining and engaging with us today. We are excited to continue to support you, hear from you, and make sure that your needs as families are met within the district. Special thank you to our SEL team, Ms. Rhonda Harris, our federal programs team, Ms. Tracy Theory, and our pre-K team, Cher Holcomb and James Howes. Thank you for your time and engagement today, families, as you've been able to connect with us, and we look forward to continuing to support and connect with you. We hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we are here to serve you. Please feel free to send us an email if there is ever anything that you need. Have a wonderful afternoon.